So you're thinking about moving your family to Metro Detroit, Michigan, but with so many great cities, you're really not sure where to start. You're looking for top-rated schools, you're looking for a good community vibe, you're looking for an awesome downtown, you're looking for shopping, you're looking to be close to everything, or maybe you're looking for a rural setting and you're really just not sure where that is. And as a father of two myself, I know exactly what you're going through, the questions you're asking, and the things that are on your mind. So I asked myself, if my wife and I were moving to Michigan with our two daughters, 8 and 6, where would we move to? What would be the criteria? And what would be some of the things that we would want to know? So in this video, I broke down the cities that I personally would move to and consider moving to here in Michigan in 2025. Hey, what's going on, you guys? If you're new to me and new to my channel, my name's Eric. My team and I have helped hundreds of people in your exact shoes make that move here to Michigan. And in today's video, we're talking all about the cities that I personally would move my family to if I were moving here in 2025. So if you are making a move here to Michigan in 1 month or 1 year from now, do not hesitate to get a hold of me. My contact information is down below. We'll schedule a Zoom call, get a game plan together, and help you make that move to Michigan as smooth as possible. All right, so the first city we're going to take a look at today is actually the city my wife and I moved to when we moved from California back to Michigan, and that was Ann Arbor, Michigan. Now, if you're looking for more of a big city vibe with kind of a small town, artsy kind of food scene attached to a university, well, Ann Arbor is probably the perfect place for you. You know, we love going to Ann Arbor. We lived there while my wife and I were pregnant with our first daughter. When we had our daughter, Mila, we ended up living in an apartment and we were on the search, right? We were in your exact shoes right now. We're like, okay, we need to find a home. And we started in Ann Arbor. We wanted to be there because there's so many fun things to do. The parks, you know, there's over 100 parks in Ann Arbor. So endless amounts of green space, endless places, you know, to walk down the sidewalk. We just kind of pictured us, you know, walking down the sidewalk, hitting one of the parks, going to one of the restaurants. And believe it or not, we still do that today. You know, we just don't have a house in Ann Arbor, but one of our favorite things to do is go to Ann Arbor, let the girls go to any of the parks. We have a couple favorites. I'll drop those in the comments below. They have awesome playscapes, you know, trails and just, you know, things that the kids can go explore and run around. But we'll go to the park and then we'll hit lunch at any of the various restaurants. And there's a ton in Ann Arbor. We got a lot of favorite restaurants as well. And then we'll do some light shopping. We'll either hit Main Street or go to any of the shopping centers, you know, kind of around the city, and maybe hit Whole Foods on the way home, grab a few things for dinner. And that's kind of a perfect Saturday for us, you know, or a Sunday. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason we left Ann Arbor is because of the housing market. You know, even back then in 2016, when we bought, the housing market was super competitive. And we looked at so many houses in Ann Arbor and we truly wanted to be there. But we got beat out every single time and we just started getting defeated and started looking kind of out on the outskirts. So we considered cities like Dexter, Saline, and then we went north, ended up landing in Brighton, you know, and I'll talk more about, you know, Brighton. But a competitive housing market is really just a testament to so many people wanting to be in Ann Arbor. You know, it's a very highly desirable place for the school systems, you know, the amounts of parks and recreations that they have, and just being close, you know, into the downtown area. And a lot of people who work at the University of Michigan, whether it's the healthcare system or the university or any of the tech startups or any of the Fortune 500 companies that are here, you know, just want to be in the city and close to things. So Ann Arbor, definitely put that on your list. It's one we would consider moving to again today. And the next city I would have on my radar is Troy, Michigan. Now, Troy has about 87,000 people who live here. So comparatively, it's one of the larger cities here in the Metro Detroit area. You know, one of the major draws to Troy is the school system. You know, as somebody with a family, we're always looking for that school system. So you'll see a theme in some of these, but the school system in Troy is excellent. Top rated, A+ according to niche.com. And with that large of a population, you know, you also have a lot of diversity. And there are all types of cultures that make up the population in Troy. And that makes for an awesome restaurant scene. That's one of our favorite things to do is go out to some of the restaurants in Troy. I mean, you can find Indian food, you can find Japanese food, you can find great steakhouses, you can find pretty much anything that you're looking for. And we found one recently that we took our girls to. And if you have kids and they like sushi, kudos. You know, our girls were like absolutely disgusted with sushi. When we would go out to eat, we'd ask like, we want sushi. Like, let's go grab some sushi. And they're like, gross. Like, who's going to eat sushi, Dad? So we tricked them. We told them we were going to eat with friends and we did not tell them the restaurant. So we took them to a revolving sushi place and it was awesome. I'm like watching the revolving like sushi train go around. They had a robot that came out, served drinks. So they were automatically like just amazed. They're like, I don't know about sushi, but everything else going on is pretty cool here. So we sat down and immediately they were just watching the conveyor belt. like go with all the dishes. And they're like, can I have that? Can I have that? Can I have that? And they grabbed it and they just started eating it. And I'm like, me and my wife and I are looking at each other. We're like, who are these kids? They just cried when we told them we were eating sushi, and now they're scarfing it down. So back to the point of, you can find any restaurant you want in Troy, and it's always a great time. And then, of course, if you're looking for some great shopping, Troy is home to Somerset Mall. So that is a big attraction for a lot of people in Metro Detroit. Since Lakeside Mall, I used to go to Lakeside Mall when I was growing up, and that's like a ghost town now. Somerset, that's where it's at. I mean, it's always happening, always popping. One of the sides has like all of the luxury brands you could ever think of. And then the other side is like all of your normal stores. You got your Lids, you got Abercrombie, Gap, all over there. So Somerset's definitely where it's at. But the location of Troy is also a big draw for a lot of people. There's a lot of headquarters that are based in Troy. So if you're somebody that's working at any of these various companies that are headquartered in Troy, you got a short drive, tons of parks around, great schools, great shopping, great restaurants, and it kind of just becomes home base, right? You don't really have to leave Troy. There's so much stuff to do in Troy alone that you really don't need to go anywhere. All right, so the next city we would consider moving to is Novi, Michigan. Now, Novi has about 66,000 people who live there, and it's definitely one of the larger cities here in Metro Detroit. Not as big as Troy, a little bit smaller, but a lot larger than some of the surrounding cities. So the location paired with the top-rated schools is actually a prime reason why we consider moving there. We love the location because it's close to Detroit, it's close to a lot of the other major cities. So Novi becomes a great option if you're somebody that's maybe rotating between hospital systems. You could be working, any of those locations and live in Novi as well. And then when you move into some of the other major sectors, for work, you got the automotive industry, which is a big player. There's a lot of headquarters, a lot of offices, and a lot of, jobs in the Novi area. But when it comes back to family living in Novi, the school system definitely is the big draw. And then when you start looking at some of the subdivisions in Novi, when you start diving into the real estate, you really got a range of houses that are going to range from like 350,000 on up into the millions. So it's really for everybody that has different price points that wants to be in a good school system. And one thing we do as a family in Novi is we'll head to 12 Oaks Mall. It's one of the largest shopping centers and largest malls in Southeast Michigan, and it's right in Novi. And there's actually some really good restaurants over there. There's a really cool hot pot place where they actually boil the water on your table and then you put your meat and vegetables in there. Some people will like, oh, that sounds gross. It's absolutely delicious. You guys need to go try it. I tried it in California for the first time. I absolutely love it. So that's a cool place. There's a Vietnamese pho place around the corner. There's Ford's Garage, which is classic, burgers and just kind of American style food. And then there's Buddy's Pizza. So if you're looking for good Detroit style pizza in the Novi area, you got Buddy's Pizza around the corner as well. But there's a movie theater back there. There's a indoor golf simulator place if you want to get X Golf. And then there's an escape room. There's a bounce house, place over there. So tons of things to do. If you just want to get out with the kids, go grab some lunch, go grab some dinner, catch a movie. It's all right there, right off of Novi Road. So the next city that'd be on our radar is Northville, Michigan. And this one ranks in the top 3 of cities that we would consider moving to if we were moving back to Michigan for sure. And the reason being is because we love the downtown. The downtown area in Northville is super quaint. It's quiet. You got some good restaurants. You got some good shops. You got like lunch spots. You got dinner spots. You got breakfast spots. So something that I always look for is, can I go out into the downtown area pretty much any time of the day? Can I grab a coffee? Can I grab some food? Can I grab something at night? One of my favorites is the Garage. You have to try the burger if you go there. Okay, it's just a classic double patty smash burger, lettuce, tomato, onion, ketchup, mustard. If you're weird, you might add mayo to it, but hey, do your thing. You got to try it. It's one of the best burgers I've ever had. And when it comes to family time in Northville, there's tons of parks to go explore. And one of the biggest ones is Mayberry State Park, which has hiking trails, biking trails, there's horseback riding, and there's even a petting zoo in there as well. And then one of our favorites, and this is cool, if you're kind of like a history buff, I would definitely check out Mill Race Park. We had family photos done there when Mila was just a baby, and it's super cool. It's like circa 1831 in there. You got the schoolhouse, you got the blacksmith, shop, you got all these little historic buildings, and then you kind of walk to the end and it's overlooking Mill Pond, there's some beautiful houses that overlook it as well. It's just a really cool vibe. You kind of walk through nature, get a little piece of history, explain to the kids, how people used to live way back when there was no electricity, was no running water, and like they're asking all these questions like, hey, why is that house so small? And you're like, Yeah, well, that's what houses used to be like, right? That's what a school used to be, because there used to be 20 kids that showed up to the school. They don't have hundreds and hundreds of people in the city. So being able to show them kind of firsthand what people used to live like way back when was super cool right in Millrace. All right, and last but not least, in this city is where my family and I call home today. This is where Brianna and I are raising our wonderful, beautiful 2 little girls, and we absolutely love it. And it's Brighton, Michigan. So if you go back to the first one on the list today, it was Ann Arbor, and we loved Ann Arbor. We loved everything about Ann Arbor, but we were missing the kind of one little thing, which was we wanted a little bit of a smaller town. Okay, we wanted a little bit more of a connectiveness to the city. Brighton really filled that void for us. We were actually heading up to her parents' house in Flint at the time. We're like, oh, let's stop off for some food. So we went downtown Brighton, and we're like, holy crap. How did we not know about this? It's about 30 to 35 minutes from Flint, where your parents are, and it's really centrally located. So we got 96 running east and west. We got 23 running north and south. This is perfect, right? We get the highways we can jump on. You got the Costco, you got the Target. The downtown area is absolutely beautiful. And one of our favorite things to do as a family, just head downtown for any of the various festivals that they have. But just a perfect Saturday or Sunday morning, you kind of picture going down there, going to Brighton Coffee House and Theater. They got pastries, they got coffee, they got hot cocoa, they got other drinks for the kids. Head over to the Amp, sit outside, kind of watch the ducks muddle around the mill pond, or kind of walk around the mill pond, or let the girls run their heads off at the Imagination Station down there. I can't even make this up, you guys. There's a park right downtown Brighton, and then a lollipop store, Oh My Lolly, right there. And the owner is the nicest guy ever, Keith. Shout out to Keith. He hides these coins in the Imagination Station. So when kids are playing on the playscape, they can find these coins and they can go into the lollipop store, into his store, and redeem them for a free lollipop. And some of our family favorite restaurants downtown is Brighton Bar and Grill, Bourbon's, LR Bowl, and Ciao Amici's if you're digging some Italian food. But Brighton overall is a pretty small city. You got about 10,000 residents in Brighton, and it's really got that small town vibe. And then Brighton's got some amazing schools, A-rated on niche.com, greatschools.org. Resources are down below if you guys want to check those out. But, one of the major reasons people move to Brighton, kind of like I did, was you can find a little bit of a larger lot, for your home here in the Brighton area or any of the surrounding area. Even though Brighton is a pretty small town, there's a lot of townships that surround Brighton. So you could feel like you're out in the country, but there's also major shopping. You got your Costco, you got your Target. The only downside is that we don't have a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's here, which is actually not a problem because Whole Foods delivers right to our doorstep now that Amazon purchased them, and we can get it pretty easy. There's a Whole Foods in Ann Arbor, but there's also like this big logistics center. Our orders end up coming from Lansing, which I don't understand. Ann Arbor is so much closer than Lansing, but yet that's where our groceries come from. So I don't know. Amazon's just wasting gas money and wasting money delivering to our door, but we will take it because that's where we shop. All right, so there you have it. These are the top options that if I was moving my family to Michigan and starting over again, these are the places that I would consider. I'm looking for places with great schools, great amenities, close to shopping. Is there green space around? Can I take the kids to the park? Is it relatively safe, outside? Do I feel comfortable, in the city that I'm moving to, in the neighborhood that I'm moving to? And, a lot of times these are the same exact questions that you guys have. These are typically how our Zoom calls go, is you're asking all these questions. Hey, we're considering this. What do you think about that? Or we're looking for this type of lifestyle. What do you think, about this city, or where would you point us in the direction to find this perfect lifestyle that we're going for? Well, these are the things that I would consider if I was moving my family somewhere. So hopefully this video helped. If it did, give it a thumbs up. Lets YouTube know we're doing a great job. And don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell so you're the first to learn every time I come out with a new video, which is every single week. So if you do have questions, drop those in the comments below. Or if you're somebody here locally and you want to add something to this video for families that are considering moving here, drop that in the comments below as well. And if you want to check out some more videos, all things Michigan, go check out these ones that I got right here. And I will see you on the next one.